Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi Console Art Edition. As you can see on the screen, we're about to fucking execute our plan to kill Tepe with the murder squad, aka Rena and Shion. Before we start, just random banter. First off, I tried my first Caesar, the alcoholic drink, tomato and vodka juice, basically. And it was probably like the most ass thing I've ever tasted. To be fair, the one I bought had uh brine from something called Extreme Bean, which is like this nasty ass bean in Canada. Well, it's not that bad, but yeah, the drink was horrible. So probably never having a Caesar. Honestly, like there's not a lot of alcoholic beverages that I've outright had to like pour out just because it was so bad. But it was really bad. But yeah, I mean, that's all I thought. Just quick rant. It's good to get back into the concerts. For context, because timing's a little weird since I schedule stuff, but the last Higurashi thing I recorded was Canadian Higurashi. If you haven't watched that, that was for Canada Day. And I think this is what, a week or two ahead of that. Yeah. But yeah. If you want to check out Canadian Higurashi, the spin-off fan-made game, it's on the channel. It's not great, but it is kind of funny. It's a little bit Canadian, and it actually has some decent jump scares. I think I actually had a harder like, jump scare in that game than I've ever had in Higurashi. I mean, obviously, the the spookiness of Higurashi isn't really jump scares, but yeah. Anyways, it was interesting, but it's good to get back to some official work, right? Um, but yeah, let's get started. See how the Tepe kill goes this time. We opened the door to the phone booth, intent on enticing Tepe out of his home. The phone booth was a short ways down the road, standing alone on the edge of the forest. It would disappear into the darkness of the night if not for the streetlight brightly shining down on it to highlight its presence. What is a phone booth doing in a place like this? I asked once and was told they installed it so people would who noticed a forest fire could call in, or people experiencing trouble in the forest could call for help. I mean, that's definitely a valid reason. Definitely should have phone booths in like more isolated places. Though, I don't think that's. I mean, yeah, I don't remember seeing. I mean, it's very smart. Basically, I just like with cell phones, it's less. But like in forest you barely have service anyways. When I carefully focused my hearing, I felt like I could hear someone calling for help. The source of that voice must be Satoko, I thought to myself, as my body started to heat up. I wanted to help Satoko as soon as possible. No matter how much anxiety it induced, no matter what doubts arose from it, that was my unshakable conviction. Over time, that belief spread to every corner of my body, slowly growing stronger and eventually taking control of me. That intense conviction dominated my thoughts and even my free will. I had clearly become a puppet. I picked up the phone receiver to make sure that the line was connected, then closed the door at once. Shion brushed the mud off her wristwatch and indicated the time. Gotta do it perfectly. We elected to hide in the shady grass while waiting for the moment of fate. The silence seemed to last an eternity. The weight of that silence deepened our bonds. Our eyes didn't cross paths. We waited motionlessly, clinging to our murderous intent. Surely this will go fine. I actually think the murder will probably go fine, to be honest. Afterwards, though, no promises. Rena broke the silence and pulled out the boxes. I wasn't hungry. Just hearing that at a time like this took the wind out of my sails. Well, Rena is eccentric enough for something like this. It's smart, honestly. Rena thrust a pair of chopsticks toward me. then nonchalantly rolled out a handkerchief and opened the box.
せっかくだからいただきますね。
She snapped her chopsticks apart, then gracefully reached for a side dish.
おいしい。本当？しーちゃんにそう言ってもらえるとすごく嬉しい。
Star.
早起きして頑張ったんですね。レナさん、ありがとう。
Shiana and Rena smiled happily while eating their food. I was dumbfounded by the latent power inside these creatures they call women. As I vacantly watched the two of them, I thought back. Mom was taking care of a cute bird last year, but it died of an unforeseen illness. New lawyer just dropped. Keiichi bat story, pet bird. Well, I guess it's her mom's pet bird more. She silently embraced its body, and she cried for a long time. I didn't know what to say, so I just avoided going near her. I mean, kind of fair, but like, I don't know, man. At that moment, there was an out-of-place growl in the room. It was Mom's stomach. Mom then smiled with embarrassment, rose to her feet, and quickly started making dinner. Oh, I thought there was gonna be like a deeper meaning, but the meaning's actually like you gotta eat in every situation. Like I thought it was gonna be relating to like the bird, but it's actually just remember to eat even if you don't feel like it, huh? It's kind of funny. Mom's words replayed as if they were encouraging me. So I snapped my chopsticks apart, wanting to hold on to whatever vestiges of humanity I had left before they completely faded. The onigiri Rena offered me was decorated with thin sliced egg and sakura starch. The delicate pattern was pleasing on the eyes as it was on the stomach. What the heck is sakura starch? Is it like pink starch? Like, what does that even mean? Sorry, this is it's definitely a tapioca starch or cornstarch. Okay. Gishi Yoshino Honzu Kudzo starch 60 grams. Yeah, it's actually just pink starch. Pink cornstarch, I guess. Or tapioca starch. That is weird. I've never heard of that. Cool. But for me right now, I couldn't see it as anything but a huge lump of rice. Even though I managed to lift it close to my mouth, I stopped myself before taking a bite. Kana? Damn it. Instincts were off. I forced my mouth open and twisted the onigiri inside. It had no scent, no taste. It felt like I was grinding sand inside my mouth. Gross. I was attacked with nausea on several occasions, but I persisted and continued chewing. Yep, apparently. I didn't want to hurt Rena's feelings, so I flashed her a V for victory hand signal. Rena looked relieved as she took another onigiri out of the box. Wait a minute, I'm not sure if I can take any more. Perhaps the prayer in my heart made it through. She moved the onigiri right past me and held it out to Shion. Ooh, tuna. For some reason, Shion just shook her head and stared at the onigiri. Oh god. Ah, right, okay. That's classic Shion. Canophobia. Rena was shocked by that sudden rejection. Well, if you ever for some reason had it out this was Mion instead of Shion, I don't know how at this point, but if you did, that should wipe it out.
でも私どうしても缶詰の食べ物がダメで。
Unless the 99.99999% chance that she that doesn't work. Sorry, even if the Caesar was shit, I'm still a little tipsy. But you know, even I guess technically Mion can be so big brained she remembered Shion hates canned food, but no, obviously it's Shion. I'm just joking. I kind of ruined it though.
何するのも嫌なくらい。
なんでだよ。
Humans.
いえ、昔嫌な迷信を聞いちゃって。
Dude, I love canned tuna though, high key. I feel like I don't eat a lot of canned meats. Like spam cooked is okay. Tuna was my shit though. Tuna sandwiches, just tuna and mayonnaise mixed in, were like so good for me.
すみません。
On my taste buds, I don't
で
know,
きれば早
healthy
めに片付けてもら
wise.
えませんか。
What that? Once Shin said that, Ren and I looked at each other and kept silent. This is after my Itachi, so you would know this, I believe. And we silently ate our food without bothering to taste it. Once we finished the food, it was already a few minutes past the time we planned to make our call. We rushed over to the phone booth, worrying that the plan was already falling apart. That's kind of sloppy. Rena let out a quick giggle. I envied Rena's peculiar ability to laugh like normal in a situation like this.
おしくらまんじゅうしてるみたい。
I don't know what that is. The three of us were competing for the limited space inside the telephone booth. It was far over capacity, so Rena and I stepped out.
そういえば、さとこはちゃんとお祭りに行ったんだよな。
うん。
Oh,
レナがリ
confirmation?
カちゃんに頼んで連れ出してもらったよ。
てっぺいに
Good.
行くのを止められたってことはないよな。
しぶしぶだったみたいだけど承諾したみたい。
そっか、
Saved?
それなら大丈夫だな。
Surely. That meant Tepe was all alone. Our intense will was like telepathy, manipulating Tepe from afar. I took that as a good omen and kept it in mind like I was clutching a charm.
それでは私がかけますね。
The flute, we don't got kick-ass drums in this like in Higurashi. We got the flute though. Shion gave us a determined look as she lifted the receiver. Then she looked up at the ceiling for a while, perhaps trying to recall the Hojo family's phone number. I put a hand on the door and blankly stared at Shion through the glass. The fluorescent lights inside the phone booth reflected along the walls, making Shion's face look twisted. Shion's slender fingers slowly turned the dial. Eventually, I could faintly hear it ringing. I was ensnared by that inorganic sound. It was like my brain had shut off. I lost all my sense of my surrounding. I felt like I was drifting alone. Even if he doesn't answer, we've already confronted him. I felt the desire to commit murder building up inside me. When the ringing finally stopped, I heard Tepe's sluggish voice.
北条さんのお宅でしょうか。
Shan quickly turned her gaze downward, trying to keep calm.
そうだけど、何のよ。
He's
こちらは
chilling.
沖宮署です。失礼ですが、北条哲平さんでしょうか。
はい、
Oh.
そうですけど。
Well, look at him. He sounds nice right now. Surely he's changed. Yo, what if this is all a Satoko plot? And Go just copied this arc? Surely Tepe's still reformed. I mean, he did beat the shit out of Keiichi, but like... Details. No, Keiichi was an abuser. Breaking into hurt Satoko. Easy. I could hear Tepe grow flustered and humbled when he heard it. It was the police. Hearing him that insignificant in person, it felt good.
現在、お宅
Jesus.
の北条聡子さんをこちらで保護しています。
え、さとこがあいつ何かやらかしおりましたか。
Tepe seemed to be getting worked up without realizing this was a trap. Yeah. Shion calmly continued, leaving little room to doubt her words.
詳しい事情はこちらにいらしてからご説明しますので、すぐに来ていただけますか？
Her traps went too far.
今ですか？風呂に入ってたとこで裸なんですわ。
I knew that without needing to be told. We researched Tepe's day-to-day habits and learned he always took a bath around this time. Bro, when's the last time you took a bath? I feel like it's been like years, not counting like a spa or something. But I don't even know if that's a bath. Kinda wanna, but at the same time, it's like, what, 15-minute bath or like 5-minute shower? Gotta, I don't know. Maybe if I buy like bath bombs or something. That's like the only way I would. Or if I'm in like a jacuzzi. Right on schedule. The plan was still on track. That conviction caused my heart to race.
それにもう寝ようと思ってたんでね。わざわざ外出るっちゅうのもね。
Yeah, police, don't make me go out to see what's happening to my adopted daughter. My dependent. Tepe was making excuses to avoid coming down, as though he found it a pain.
そうですか。来ていただけないのならば、こちらから迎えをそちらに出して来てもらうことになりますが。
Yeah. Can't really just say no if a police is telling you to come in. Unless you run away.
すでに裁判所には申請が済んでおります。明朝にでも。
家宅捜索？
Shion's bluff caused Tepe to raise his voice. Oh, not my illegal mahjong tiles made out of elephant ivory. I don't know what the joke was. Sorry. If you really think about it, there's no way the police would give someone prior notification before conducting a search. Did Tepe have something to hide from the police? Or was he just a weak-minded coward? Either way, he was shamelessly panicking about it.
わかりましたわ。すぐに行きますよって。大勢で押しかけるのだけは堪忍してください。
それではお待ちしております。
Click. Shin let out a deep sigh after hanging up the receiver, then she turned to face us.
さあ、ショータイムの幕開けです。
Yay. We gazed at one another and silently nodded. Words were no longer necessary. After this, I'll take Tepe Hojo's life with my own hands. Run, Tepe, run. We rushed in the direction of the Hojo house at full speed. Shion went ahead of us on her scooter to handle the preparations at the scene, while Ren and I were en route. Tepe would probably take the time to change his clothes and maybe have a cigarette, but the time was of the essence. So, are they? I thought they were killing them on the path. Are they? Yeah. They're killing them because they have the tripwire. I was confused. I thought they were like gonna go kill him in this house and like drag him out, but that doesn't really make sense. They're just getting in position, I guess. Our plans would amount to nothing if Tepe somehow managed to sneak by us and make it to town. It would undo everything we set in motion. We have to stop him no matter what it takes. In my impatience, my feet managed to miss the pedals on several occasions. My bike made an unpleasant thunk each time. I occasionally glanced behind me. Rena was frantically pedaling a short distance behind. She had a demon-like appearance. Perhaps she just noticed me looking at her because her expression quickly morphed into an eerie smile. It was our mission to rescue a lonely girl from her hardship. It was our duty to restore the smile to our classmate's face. Rena's face seemed distorted by the clash of those two ideals. Our ideal future. The overwhelming power of those words seemed to cast a shadow on our surroundings for a moment. Rushing to the scene at full speed, we passed by several familiars dressed in yukatas. They must be on the way to the festival. Even though I didn't recognize them, these were people from Hiramizawa, so there was a good chance they could recognize my face. Just passing by them like this was filling my heart with dread. But this wasn't my part of town, so there's a chance they didn't know me. Plus, I looked at all their faces, and it was clear they were focused entirely on the festival, since it happens only once a year. They weren't paying the least bit attention to someone sticking to the shadows like me. Enough. There's no sense worrying about that now. It's too late for that. Anyway, we have to arrive at the scene as quickly as possible. I took a moment to catch my breath before preparing the ambush.
ケイちゃん、
Here
こ
we
っち
go.
です。
Shion was already at the scene. She whispered and beckoned us toward her with a hand signal.
鉄平はまだ来ません。準備はもう済ませましたから。
When I gazed off into the darkness, I could see a black rope laying across the road. I took Satoshi's bat out of my backpack and wiped the sweat away with my sleeve, then gripped it tightly.
レナさんは反対側のロープの端を持ってください。うん。
Tripping duty. Rena bowed to Shion, then moved to the shadows on the other side of the road. The voice of the crickets rang out, seeming to laugh at me for using barbarism in the name of justice. Like a warning, or maybe applause. Fire and water were falling together, a bizarrely balanced contradiction. I mean, I don't know if it's barbaric. I guess it is kind of barbaric. It's kind of a weird analogy. I don't think I guess, like, I don't know. Because killing someone could be quote-unquote justice, but if you describe it as barbarism? Extreme cruelty or brutality, then I guess. I mean, that could still be just. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Just interesting they use it like that. The silence was suddenly torn apart, bringing me back to reality. It's killing time. I heard it again. Oh, no, it's not killing time. It's Hanyu. What is Hanyu doing? It's not like footsteps. He's hearing like a metallic thing. She like banging some pots and pans or something. Invisible ones, of course. I heard it again, the same sound I heard in the station wagon and at the bottom of the hole. I looked behind me with my eyes wide open. Then, I found Shion holding the source of that noise.
それ
What the heck?
スタンガンです。
Oh! It wasn't Hanyu, it was just Shion fucking with a stun gun? Or it going off accidentally? She had up the stun gun so I could see the pale light emanating from it, with a fearless smile on her face. Classic Shion? Ring? The current drew sparking lines as it made that disturbing noise.
どうして
ケイちゃんだけにやらせるのは気が引けてしまって。
It's good insurance.
きちんとやれるか心配
Give a
で。
little 1-2 shock. I realized that Shion's true intention leaned more toward the latter. In other words, she didn't trust me to get the job done. Fair, I mean. I suddenly recalled the secret conversation I heard at the bottom of the hole. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Keiichi, like, kind of like an Anotatoshi thing, where Keiichi could only make out some parts of the conversation, and it just sounds extremely sketchy without the full statement. Doesn't know anything. We'll die anyway. Shion's murderous intent was growing, but maybe it wasn't directed at Teppei alone, but as me as well? No. Why? Shion was doubting my willingness to carry out the murder. If I lost my will and tried to run away at the last minute, she'd kill me without hesitation. She wanted to bury any evidence, setting up a backup plan to handle the worst case scenario. Every hair in my body stood on the end when I realized how ruthlessly calculating Shion must be to have planned that out.
内緒にしててごめんなさい。ケイちゃんのメンツを傷つけちゃうような気がして言い出せなかったんです。私のこと許してくださいね。
She turned and smiled toward me and gently placed a hand on my shoulder as if trying to calm me down. Keiichi's budding. My entire body recoiled like I was electrocuted. Is Keiichi trying to fuck up the plan?
大丈夫ですか？
Shion looked concerned, but the value of that expression was destroyed by the threatening atmosphere. I turned toward Rena seeking help. Then, In the darkness, I saw Rena pull a shadowy object from her duffel bag. It was a massive hatchet. Hey, we got all the classic weapons here. Rena lifted the hatchet and moved into position to wait for our target. Both of Rena's eyes were flashing red. Even Rena was hiding thoughts of betrayal behind an innocent face?
レナさんも私と同じ気持ちです。
Yes, they all want a piece of the pie.
ただレナ
Keiichi.
さんにはあの男の血が赤いかどうか確かめたいという気持ちも含まれているようですけど。
Get a little messy. Somehow I had lost the trust of my comrades and with it my spirit. My vision was fogging over, and Satoshi's bat was slowly sliding out of my grip thanks to all my cold sweat. I steadied my breathing to clear my thoughts. I can't turn back. If I turn my back now, I'll be killed. All this focused breathing was causing me to start hyperventilating. When I started convulsing, Shion came over and rubbed my back. I let out a brief scream and crouched to the ground. My instinctive reaction was to exhale all the air I had collected. Come on, bro. Shion calmly lowered herself beside me and continued rubbing my back.
酸素って吸いすぎると毒になるんですってね。
Technically, but like, I get that. Too much can kill you, but like, I don't think that's actually like humanly possible, right?
当たり前のように私たちの周りに毒があるなんて少し奇妙だとは思いません？とにかく良かったですね。吐いたりしたら確実な証拠を現場に残してしまいますから。
She's joking, Keiichi. I just stood still. I finally parted with my sanity. Oh no, he's budding so hard. All that remained was my pure, unadulterated desire to kill. Just then, the crickets stopped singing. I could hear the sound of a motorcycle approaching off in the distance. I felt an explosive desire rising up inside me, causing my blood to boil and my entire body to heat up. I took a step forward as if possessed by something. Whether it was something supernatural like Oyashiro-sama or not, I didn't care anymore. I succumbed and kneeled before the luscious temptation manipulating me. It's getting closer and closer. The target will be here soon. Soon, once he crosses by those bushes over there, he'll appear right before me. In that moment, we'll identify the target. Then if we can confirm that, if we can confirm it, my desire was starting to reach the boiling point. I single-mindedly raised my bat overhead and waited. Waited for him to come out. The bite finally appeared. The features of the target whispered to me that this was indeed Teppei Hojo's motorcycle. Is this really it? This isn't a delusion or a hallucination. I checked the features once again to be sure. The color, the shape, and more importantly, his clothes and his face. Very distinctive clothes. That filthy, rotten face. No doubt. There's no mistaking this. The bite came closer, closer, and closer. As I made my decision, I felt two hands pushing on my back. There's no need to check whose those hands belonged to. I already knew it. It was Oyashiro-sama. Han, you don't push. You're gonna make him trip. I pictured both my eyes glimmering in the darkness. The most terrible thing in the world was losing my heart to doubt and suspicion and turning myself into a beast. Okay, that's positive. Kinda. Maybe the fear and strength of Oyashiro-sama's existence was eating at my heart. The bite reached the target position. Oh shit. Music change and it sounds trippy. Rena and Shion stretched out the rope, causing Teppei's bite to lose balance and tumble to the ground. Whack him. I leapt out of the bushes right as Teppei's pathetic scream roared out. Whoosh! Tepe was suddenly thrown to the ground without realizing what had happened, then groaned as he crawled to the earth, on the earth. My entire body trembled, and I smiled as I looked down at how defenseless Tepe was. Oh god. Bro, he sounds crazier than he was in Tsukiotoshi. I let out a, well, kinda. I let out a laugh that could echo across the entire world as I swung down the bat. Jesus. Tepe suddenly rolled over and clung to his head, unable to endure the intense pain. I straightened on top of Tepe to cut off his retreat. Nope, definitely. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm trying to remember the Totodoroshi scene. I feel like Keiichi was like less psychotic, but still like trying really hard to kill him. Tepe blinked incessantly while looking up and trying to identify as a silent. I felt a unique satisfaction for the first time in my life. I swung my bat down without giving him a chance to respond. Oh god. Tepe screamed while twisting his body. I mercilessly stepped on his hands to fend off his escape. Uh-oh. Don't say that out loud. Takano's gonna have to kill you for that. It's unlucky. Tepe was starting to feel terrified as he began to comprehend his situation. People tend to shed their sanity when faced with unbearable fear. I'd already begun to feel that myself. And when you reach that point, everything you do becomes haphazard. I swung the bat down on Tepe's legs as he desperately tried to crawl away. Why? I just thought say blood splattering out of a wound. It sounds like slicing to me. No matter how much you panic, human beings have an instinctive desire to escape danger. Tepe desperately tried to resist and crawl away. Right before my eyes, Tepe's face was growing twisted by fear, and the more he struggled to survive, the more he recognized his own despair. Then I swung my bat at him in a frenzy in order to put an end to those ear-grating moans and his pathetic struggling. Oh, that was super clean. Just because Keiichi actually straightened him while he was down. My hoarse breath drifted into the darkness nearby. I guess he like tumbled better because of the rope, I guess. Last time Keiichi like swung at him while he was riding, right? I was alone in this massive universe. It was a symbol of hatred for Tepe, a symbol of devotion to Satoto, praise Satoto, and a symbol of the existence of Keiichi Maibara. In this moment, I was able to become a murderer without losing everything. Oh. Huh? Sorry, did I dream that? Rena? Huh? I can hear you. Where are you? Shion? I can only hear your voice. Show yourself. Are you hiding? Huh? I don't see anything. There's nothing but darkness in front of me. I can't make anything out. Oh no. No! After I rubbed my eyes, I was finally able to make out their blurry silhouettes. Ren and Shion were standing there staring at me. I hesitated to touch the hand stretched out to me. Okay, no, we did kill him. I guess we collapsed a bit. I thought they were about to say, hey, Lamau, he was just dreaming for some reason. I suddenly looked down at my palms and they were covered in something dark. Is this blood? Tepe's body was laying by my feet. Did I kill him? I struck him with the bat over and over, beating him down as much as I could. That's right. I killed him. I openly joined the ranks of murderers. This brutal display was the main attraction of the Watanashi festival. I burst into laughter. Not because I enjoyed it, not because it was funny, not because I was happy, not because I was proud. I was filled to the brim with despair. The bat spilled out of the grasp of my fingers. That moment, I lost the very core of my being and collapsed to the ground.
ケイチ君、血だらけだよ。
This is why you should have just let Shion to just like taser him a bunch.
どうしてだろう。真っ
Oh,
黒だよ。血って真っ黒なんだ。
spooky. Probably just because it's dark, but you know, Rena's high right now. Rena's voice seemed to come from somewhere far away. I gently closed my eyes and touched the cold ground, then rubbed my face. I could vaguely hear Rena and Shion talking in the corner of my consciousness.
本当に死んだのかな。念のため。そうだね。
Oh, they want a double tap. Or I guess triple tap in this case.
もう起きてこないように。
If they both go separately.
レナ、やる。私だって。
I heard the sound of someone swallowing their saliva in one massive gulp. And shortly after, an ear-splitting sound reigned across the entire area. Tepe's getting bullied. Whoosh, whoosh. I feel like whoosh is a weird sound for... I just hear whooshing down. And ringed is also weird for taser. Though maybe it's appropriate. I actually don't know what it... Isn't like tasers like... At least how they describe Shion's. Isn't it more like Actually, I can't even describe it. Like flicking a lighter. More zappy. The sounds echoed for an eternity. Rain began to drip down on the side of my face. Eventually, the rain brought along strong winds. The festival was coming to a close. It was already too late to go. Storm, your opportunity has already passed. Yay. Yeah, we actually beat the storm, right? That's lucky. And then I guess that's because we got the squad, the efficiency. When I gently opened my eyes, I saw a familiar shadow looking down at me. When I gradually turned my gaze upward, what I saw there was... Hey, is this some kind of joke? What the fuck? Okay, I thought it was gonna be one of the squad. How is... Oh, well that's not what I thought. It's the Toto. I guess she's coming back from the festival. Well, this is this is gonna be a little spicy.
ケイチさん、
What's up? To.
何をなさっているのです？
He killed her, though. Right until that moment, I hadn't noticed. We made a fatal mistake. We're so focused on Teppei Hojo's presence that we completely neglected to consider the most important factor, Satoto Hojo's intentions. Sure, but also, like, if this is the fastest route, obviously Satoto would take it back to you. Which might have been a fatal part of the plan if you think about it. Like, what if Keiichi just killed Teppei? And then Satoto would have, like, met him as she was going back from the festival. That could have happened. Maybe it was just doomed from the start. The thunder roared like an explosion. The fierce sound of nature ran a jolt through my entire body. I lost all control of my body. I couldn't move. My whole body was shivering as I stared vacantly at Satoto with my eyes open wide. The fierce rain poured down on my face, seemed to wash away the tears. I honestly don't know what we're gonna do from this point on. The storm came with impeccable timing. In this violent tempest, it wasn't Teppei crying in his death throes, it was Satoto. Uh-oh. That brought our festival to its conclusion. A moving finale. The last thing I saw before closing my eyes was only that. Only that. End? Of arc? That could be the end of the arc. We're just fucked. You think Satoto's gonna help? I mean, might as well at this point. That's such a cool twist. I didn't think they would do that. I thought they would just get like caught.
こんなところで皆さんお揃いで
We're just playing. That's not really Teppei. It's just an inflatable doll. But anyways, you guys are gonna have to see next time on some more Higurashi. But for now, peace. That was fun. Good kill. Good clean kill. You know, we got a little crazy, but it's deserved. This isn't reformed Teppei. The anger is reasonable. And we'll see the Satoto talk next time. Should be very interesting. But until then, have a great time.